technologies and capabilities that are available or being developed by countries, and some of which are hostile to the U.S. And space, possibility that space become more military domain. It is to some degree already, and how to deal with that. How to deal with China that follows norms and procedures that have been in place.
Do you think the U.S. has been a leader now as opposed to 30 years ago? I mean, do you think they've kind of upheld that principle, pretty well?
In general, yes. In some cases, not as much, but that just depends on the particular president and what they choose to do. But I think overall, the U.S. has clearly maintained commitments, its treaty commitments that it undertook as early as after World War II. It continues to maintain military forces in a number of countries. Not everybody thinks that's a great idea. I happen to think it's important for the U.S. to have a military presence elsewhere at the request of and with the support of coordination with those nations, of course. And continued involvement with NATO, which is the strongest and best alliance in history, to continue to be a leader there. He's involved in those are things the U.S. continues to do. Some places everybody has their own personal judgments as to whether it's in a particular case has done everything it could or should have, but in general, the U.S. has in fact maintained actual clear national leadership. This might be.
And you've seen a lot of trends for how long you've done it, and what do you foresee some of the trends in global security that over the next decade? That you see, almost like you see it coming. That you're like, I saw this this long ago.
Sure. Well, there are trends, and there's many of them are already apparent, but they continue to develop and excite. Not necessarily some of the challenges. We have several countries that are clearly, some people call it the axis of authoritarianism or whatever you want to call it, but nations that view their interests and their objectives in ways that are contradictory to those I think the U.S. would have and free peoples anywhere would have. And those include China, Russia now, and North Korea, and Iran. And so you have four regions, if you will, sub-regions where there have been continuing challenges, not only for the U.S., but again for people who are want to be free or are free globally. So you have second, you also have the developing nations, so-called, some of you are called it BRICS. These are Brazil, other countries that, not Russia in this case, but countries that are growing and wanting to maybe assert themselves more, maybe not necessarily wanting to align themselves firmly with any particular country, including the U.S. I think you would need to be active with them in diplomacy and otherwise, try to keep them aligned with U.S. concerns, objectives, etc. You have challenges, trends from technology, including AI, in terms of how it can be applied in the military area, for example, or otherwise. And other technologies and capabilities that are available or being developed by countries, and some of which are hostile to the U.S. or its using. So, at space, possibility that space become more military domain. It is to some degree already, and how to deal with that. How to deal with China as such as a country that is growing in many ways and asserting itself, and how to try to ensure that it follows the sort of the international norms and procedures that have been in place, including freedom of transit, navigation of the seas, et cetera, et cetera. So those are some of the challenges. Can the allies of the free world maintain their unity and will and strength to, as the time goes by? There's a trend particularly, but it's certainly as to how it go. So there are a number of variables, moving parts that all are there and even will continue to evolve.
At Juliant, we're with you at every milestone, and your brightest dreams never have to fade. At Juliant, we help you shine. That's brighter banking. Juliant Federal Credit Union.
So AI, do you think that's playing a big role right now in military? Right, a lot of people, I use AI for whenever I'm trying to do some research or trying to look something up, I turn to it, and I'm assuming a lot of people do. So, military, I assume it's a little more different than looking something up, but...
Well, whatever's really happening is highly classified. So certainly it has to be part of what's being looked at and taken into account in terms of U.S. capabilities for sure, and how can be applied. Some of that we just, that hopefully we'll never have to know because it won't need to be applied. And certainly it's inevitable that will be a part of the technologies that are being developed, not only by the U.S. but by other countries. So we have to, and cyber, cyber is another area where we not only have to have defensive capabilities, but we have to have the capability to, if necessary, respond to cyber attack. So undoubtedly that's also developed with great capabilities.
And looking back on your career, what are some lessons you've learned along the way that could be valuable for the next generation of leaders, whether it's in military or not, just in general?
Well, talking about generation of leaders, first of all, I think an understanding of history. It can go in and study those kinds of issues and technologies, but just seeing what's happening in the past, and that is, as whoever it was, what first said it, there's different suggestions, but history may not repeat itself, but it can rhyme. And that is things that we need to understand how human nature is involved, and by reading history of conflicts, of U.S. history and administrations and everything that went on, you can get a lot that any leader should have in mind as they address creation, because there's a lot of things that you can learn from what was successful and what was a mistake. Read biographies. I really think those are extremely important. And then, if you're going to be a leader, you have to figure out how to deal with people, work team, find ways of getting people to do things and motivate them, keep up morale. Leadership is a lot of things, and it's not just say, do this or do that. You have the people as a team and give them time to work together and come up with ideas themselves and feel their part of the process.
It's like you want to ask someone to do something, but if you're a leader, it's like they want to do it for you. It's not like you're sort of asking them in a way, but it's a little different.
Yeah, and to be some people have more natural talent for that prep time. I think that's fair to say. But everybody should try to at least figure out what is it needed to exactly do what you said. I'm just so happy as I'm reading a great account of an expedition of Lewis and Clark that group by Stephen Halmros, which Lewis and Clark run along a group of maybe 10 or 12 support speedboats, and to get them to which Ambrose discusses, to have them motivated and want to do everything. Very tough conditions, going through areas nobody ever went through it before, all kinds of challenges. They kept them your party boss and the leaders. You willing to do things yourself. In the military, that's particularly the case. If you're the top person, you want to be out there and show them you doing it, and maybe first, and then the others will follow as well. So there's lots of different attributes. Understanding how to explain things to other people, this sometimes to get a buy-in. There's a new book, relatively by retired General Frank McKenzie. It was the head of CENTCOM and had a blog career where he's at very senior levels, and he talks about how he was able to get his other senior officers who were all very capable to buy in and support. It wasn't just by saying, we're going to do this. He had ways of so I think there's two books that actually bring.
Well, I'm going to have to check them out, and I'm sure others will as well. I want to thank you for donating your time with us, and I just want to say I really do appreciate it, and it does mean a lot.
My pleasure. It's good to talk with you.